Chapter 2: Into the Unknown. Elsa woke with a start as something heavy landed on her chest. Instinctively, she screamed and lashed out, her hands connecting with fur and muscle. The creature let out a yowl and swiped back with sharp claws, scratching her arms and legs before leaping off into the darkness. Panting heavily, Elsa sat up, wincing as her wounds stung. She pressed her hands against the scratches, trying to steady her racing heart. Her eyes darted around, scanning the shadowy forest for any sign of the cat-like creature, but it had vanished into the night. She took a deep breath and forced herself to look up at the sky. Her heart skipped a beat. The sky above her was not the familiar night sky of her home. There were far fewer stars, and the ones she could see seemed different, almost alien. Some glowed with an ethereal light, and she could make out strange constellations that she had never seen before. A couple of larger, unfamiliar celestial bodies hung in the sky, casting an eerie glow over the landscape. Elsa's sense of disorientation deepened as she took in her surroundings. The trees around her were unlike the pines and oaks of her forest. These trees had silvery bark that shimmered in the moonlight, and their leaves were a deep, iridescent blue. She felt as though she had stepped into another world. She gingerly touched the scratches on her arms and legs, wincing at the pain. The encounter with the cat-like creature had left her shaken and confused. What kind of forest was this, and how had she ended up here? She realized she needed to make a decision. Staying put might be the safest option, but the unfamiliarity of her surroundings made her uneasy. Elsa considered her options. She could try to find her way out of the forest, but without knowing where she was or which direction to take, she might only get more lost. Starting a fire could provide warmth and comfort, but it might also attract unwanted attention, especially from creatures like the one that had just attacked her. She decided to stay put for now, hoping that dawn would bring some clarity. She gathered some fallen branches and leaves to create a makeshift bed, trying to make herself as comfortable as possible. Her mind raced with questions and fears, but she forced herself to stay calm and focused. As she settled down, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. The forest was silent except for the occasional rustle of leaves and the distant calls of nocturnal animals. She kept her flashlight close, ready to defend herself if necessary. Hours seemed to stretch on, and just as Elsa began to drift into a fitful sleep again, she noticed a movement in the corner of her eye. She turned her head slowly, and her breath caught in her throat. Standing at the edge of the clearing was a thin, elegant white deer. Its fur glowed softly in the moonlight, and it had a large, intricate rack that seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly light. The deer looked at Elsa with intelligent, almost knowing eyes. She felt a strange sense of calm wash over her, as if the creature was reassuring her. For a moment, she forgot about the pain from her scratches and the fear of being lost in a foreign forest. She simply stared at the magnificent creature, feeling a connection that transcended words. The deer took a few graceful steps toward her, its eyes never leaving hers. Elsa felt a surge of hope. Maybe this creature could help her find a way out, or at least provide some comfort in this strange, unfamiliar place. She watched in awe as the deer moved closer, its glowing presence illuminating the surrounding trees and casting a gentle light over the clearing. Elsa didn't know what the future held, but she felt a glimmer of optimism. She resolved to follow the deer, hoping it would lead her to safety or provide some answers. As the first light of dawn began to break through the trees, she got to her feet, ready to embark on whatever journey lay ahead.